So I decided to do this video to show my future clients how I do my services, and that way they can see if they like this technique or not, because everybody does things differently. So this manicure, I call this a gentle manicure because I don't cut the skin around the nails. I'm going to explain exactly what I'm doing step by step. So first of all, we started with washing hands. This is the best way to start a manicure, washing hands. Gloves, by the way, are not mandatory, and I sometimes work with gloves when I'm working with a gel or gel polish, and sometimes I don't. For these gentle manicures, there was no skin cutting, there was no open cuts or anything like that, so it's not necessary. Okay, so first of all, what I'm going to do, I'm going to shorten the nails. By the way, I use a lot of, especially for manicures, a lot of disposable items. That way I can give these files and the buffer to the client after the manicure so they can maintain their nails at home. So first of all, I recommend getting these manicures once, I would say every week or two. I think it's more realistic for many people to come to a salon once every 2 weeks. And if you're doing manicures at home, I already have many videos posted on how to do like a DIY manicure, which is a little bit different to what I do in a salon. And I will explain why I do what I do in a salon. So now I'm shortening the nails with electric file, and I do that because I don't like clipping the nails with clippers. I don't know, I find this is a little bit better. It has a less chance of splitting the nails. Some people have their brittle nails, and if I can avoid cutting, I do. Now I'm going to shape the nails. This grid here is 220, on the other side is 120, I believe, in case you're curious. By the way, these manicures take me about 15-20 minutes, I would say. And why do I use electric file for my manicures? Because, like I mentioned, when people come in every 2 weeks to the salon, there is a little bit of growth, and it's just a little bit quicker and easier to do it with electric file. But if you're doing your nails at home, like I show in many of my videos, filing is enough, because you would be doing that every week to maintain the proper length of the nails. Now, many people are sometimes upset when they see me filing back and forth. They think it's bad for the nails or something. It's really not. I don't know who first came up with this idea that filing back and forth somehow tears the nails. It absolutely doesn't. And if you look under microscope how the nails are made, they don't actually have a grain going this way like some people might think. They don't, but I won't get into this. Maybe I'll do a separate video, and then you'll understand why it doesn't make any difference on how you file the nails. So I think the goal of majority of people is not to really have perfect nails, especially a lot of guys, but to have hands that look decent, like they can take care of them, right? So this is what this type of manicure is going to give you. Next step is the skin around the nails, or the nail contour. So what I'm going to do, and what I do, is I nudge this skin back, which exposes the cuticle that's barely visible on the nail plate. So a lot of times people confuse the skin fold or cuticle for a skin fold, and they cut it. But then, because the skin has been cut, the skin usually starts to peel and actually gets harder around the nails, and then you're actually kind of stuck having to do the manicures all the time, because then the skin gets worse over time. This way, this type of manicure is going to be very low maintenance, because the skin around the nails over time actually gets much better, especially if you just nudge that skin every few days with a stick like this, which by the way I give to the clients after the manicure. If the skin has a tendency to stick to the nail and kind of stretch with it, and tear. So this step will help to protect the skin from sticking to the nail plate and getting pulled and then tearing. So now in this case, we have a little bit of a hard skin in the corners right here, which can bother sometimes clients. So what I do, I don't overdo it. I just very gently smooth it so it does not get cracked and painful. But now it is very important to care for the skin around the nails. So this is what's going to give you the best results. Skincare, which actually doesn't have to be super complicated. It's actually very simple. If that skin is dry and cracking around the nails, I do have an amazing cream that will really keep the skin in much better condition. And it's to be applied only once a day. So the key here is a very gentle exfoliation and not trying to remove dry skin, because that's not how we treat dry skin. Just to remove the hard little pieces. Okay, so I can also, with the same bit, just smooth the skin here a little bit. Again, the key is not to remove these hard-earned calluses, it's just to smooth them a little bit. Just a little bit, tiny bit. This is, by the way, medium. And this step is obviously very optional. It really depends on a person, if they need it done or not. Okay, now I'm going to grab this little burr or bit, and I'm just going to remove the cuticle from the nail plate. So the cuticle is barely visible. It's a bunch of skin cells that are actually stuck to the nail plate. And the cuticle is actually, again, a bunch of skin cells that keeps the skin fold and the nail glued together, really. So once that cuticle is moved past the skin fold, it is not a seal anymore, so it doesn't really serve any purpose anymore. So just to make the nails look a little bit more neat, we can definitely remove it. By the way, I really do not recommend anyone using electric file unless they're really trained to use it properly. It's not necessary, and you can do way more harm than good. I've been using electric file for, I don't know, over 20 years, and I'm extremely comfortable using it. I could probably use it with my eyes closed. Voila. Okay, with this bit I can also smooth the skin a little bit again in areas that I've missed. This is very gentle. Like, I had someone comment in the comment section saying that this looks very painful, but it's not. This is a very low speed. I'm not creating absolutely any heat. I'm not applying a lot of pressure. This is feather light touch, and this does not file the nails. It just removes the cuticle that is on the nail plate. That's here barely visible because we were doing manicures here on a regular basis. By the way, this is a filter. It's a HEPA filter, just so, especially when working with doing dry services, so dry manicures, dry pedicures, that creates, with electric file, it creates some dust, and we definitely don't want to be breathing that dust in. So this is a really good quality filter that removes the dust at a source. Okay, so now the next step is to just smooth the free edge so the edges are not sharp. And I do this with a buffer block because it is a little bit more flexible, so it kind of hugs the nail and it bevels the nail. This is a very nice little touch. Makes a big difference. Okay, so the last step is oil, and very often people think that they have to apply a lot of oil in order for the oil to be effective, and this is why I show them how to use an oil. So just one drop and you would apply it like this. So during a manicure I always apply a little bit more, but don't think that you have to apply so much oil in order for the oil to be effective. And I recommend applying oil, especially if someone has skin that is very prone to dryness or cracking. I recommend using oil after each hand washing. And why? Because the hand washing removes a lot of the lipids that really keep the skin and the nail cells together. And applying just one tiny little drop right after the hand wash to seal the moisture in makes a huge, huge difference. I do not even have to use these. Sometimes if there is like a little piece that can be cut, I use it, but usually not. And just a little bit of cream. And we're done. Apparently my client really likes that smell. My model here of the cream. I'm using this one. This is really nice. It smells like mojito. Okay, now I'm going to just wipe the excess off. And we are done. So next what I do, a little baggie, I give clients a little gift. So this, and this goes to the client. It's my little gift for them.
Why, thank you.
You're welcome.